Hi, my name is Jeff Lowe from Alchemy Theatre Company. And if you want to learn more about this year's production of Alchemy du Fromage, this time we're doing Mama Miracle. Stick around and watch this video. The original idea for these Alchemy du Fromage shows came about because myself and the other four original founders of Alchemy Theatre Company, Stephen John, Corey John, Jesse Rundy, and Tiffany Berg, we were creating this theater company at the time, and one of our very good friends, who was a stage manager that we loved working with, and an actor that we loved working with, Megan McCarthy. She had introduced us because her mother ran this group called Seroptimus, and Seroptimus is a woman's group, and they help individuals who are leaving maybe bad environments, abusive relationships, and helping them get on their feet and situated. And so we kind of got together through the McCarthys to set all this up, because they would run a charity event every year. It's like a gala, and most nonprofits have some sort of a gala to raise money. But Stephen John had this idea of a kind of like Tony's and Tina's Italian wedding, which is a dinner and a show type deal, and there's drama and all those kinds of things. But he had thought up this idea called the redneck wedding, and so it was really his brainchild that he had come up with. And it was the original storyline was pretty simple, and it was a Jewish family from Orange County was marrying into a redneck family from South Carolina. And so the redneck family was out here for the wedding. And so the guests, as part of the show, were just like they were attending a wedding. So us as characters were in character for the full 2-3 hour show, would come up to them before even the ceremony, and we would like schmooze with them, like, oh, how do you know the bride, and all that kind of stuff. And audiences have a good time. Your mileage varies. So if a guest says, oh, well, I know the bride, we went to college together, and I was like, oh, you're Eugenia's friend, it's so good to see you, and you just play along, and everybody has a really good time with it. So that was the original brainchild. Stephen John thought that up, and the original cast was just fantastic. We had a great time, and it worked really, really well. And most importantly, the charity raised maybe more money than they ever had before, I think, is what they had mentioned. Through the years, what's happened is that the show is morphed in a sort of way. One of the characters, Mama Lou, Louanda Louse, played by John Sparks, who plays the matriarch of the families, is really the only through line between all of the shows. So it started off with the redneck wedding, and then we decided, well, that was a lot of fun. We're going to do it for the same group next year. We did it for Seroptimus again. And this time it was the Irish wake, and Dad was dead. And we kind of turned it into this whole murder mystery halfway through, where one of the kids really was the one who killed Dad. And then we would raise money. People would vote with their wallets who they wanted the killer to be. So we always, had it in our minds that any of us could be the killer. And it was fun like that. And so they change every single time. I think the only time we've repeated a show is the redneck wedding. We've done the redneck wedding a few times. We've done it once for Seroptimus, the very original one. And then we've done the redneck wedding again for the Govina Center for the Performing Arts. We've done it for them twice. I will say that even if the show is the same, or the premise is the same, we don't always get the same actors, or sometimes aren't always able to come back. And so if you have a new actor that's involved, they don't have to pick up any one particular part. All the characters are created during the rehearsal process, unless they're pre-established characters like Mama Lou. Mama Lou is almost always there in some iteration. Even if she's not physically there, we still put her up on the screen. So for the quinceañera, Mama Lou couldn't be there, but she was the little girl's godmother. So we pre-recorded John as Mama Lou, and made a big screen as if she was calling in from a Skype call or something. We've been partnering with the city of Diamond Bar, and they've been really fantastic, particularly the Diamond Bar Community Foundation. They've just been so wonderful. I can't express how blessed I feel that they've really taken a shine to us. And we've been working with the city because I'm originally from Diamond Bar, and so I want to go back to Diamond Bar. It's this like little pocket, just just north of Orange County and pretty far away from LA, but it's like in LA County, and there's just not enough theater there. It's this little place that really deserves to have something to do. It's kind of a sleepy little town, and I feel like we need something to do. And so for the first time ever, we are going to be doing this Du Fromage show for Alchemy. We'll actually be the sole benefactors of the money raised. Now, of course, with that, we're also the sole people responsible for putting the show on too. So there's cost involved there. But if we do happen to at least raise some money so that we can continue bringing more theater to Diamond Bar, that is the goal. This should be our big fundraiser for the year. This year is a new show, and we're always rolling out new shows. This one is called Mama Miracle. I developed this show. I was just thinking about fun things and ways that we could ensure that we could get John back in the show. That's really the reason I love doing these shows, is the family that we've created doing all of them has been really wonderful. The premise of the show is that it is Louanda Louse. It's Mama Lou's holiday event, and she's invited all of her friends, old friends, new friends, to this holiday show. Everybody's so excited to see Mama Lou and party and have some drinks and celebrate the holidays. And then they show up, and Mama Lou's pregnant, and she won't say, who the father is. It's probably just an immaculate conception. She says, I'm just like the Virgin Mary, and nobody really believes that. We're all a little concerned where Mama Lou is coming from. And so people get a chance to eat, and then by Act 2, Mama Lou admits that, okay, it wasn't an immaculate conception, but I just didn't want to say anything because the father is in the room tonight, and I didn't want to embarrass him. Of course, the audience has got to know. So we were playing around with the idea of a Maury Povich character showing up, who would be named Mary Pohovich, to come in and figure out what the DNA, who the father really is. But at the end of the day, it'll really be the audience voting to decide who they want the father to be. And depending on who the audience decides the father is, the show will slightly end differently. But there'll be a lot of songs in between. It's a little bit of a mashup between Mamma Mia and Miracle on 34th Street. So we'll be taking some ABBA songs and doing basically free use parody, kind of like the way that Weird Al does, to change some of the songs. So Waterloo becomes Mama Lou and things like that. So have a lot of fun, and all the food and drink is included, so it's a really fun time. How I write these kinds of things, I have to go back to the very first one, which was that almost nothing was written because it was a wedding, and we all kind of know how a wedding is supposed to go. So the beats are all there for a wedding. And Stephen John was just a master of surprises. So he would walk up to us like during the show and say, by the way, such and such is happening. And then some amazing thing would happen. Like a cast member who we thought wasn't going to be there that day suddenly shows up, and it keeps things kind of fresh and fun. The way I don't have that mastery of surprises, because it takes a lot just to get the show together, let alone to add on some extra surprises. And so what I do is I get a basic storyline, because we're dealing with stranger premises now than just a wedding. And that's the tough thing for audiences to grasp. If it's a wedding, everybody knows, okay, ceremony, reception, hijinks ensue. With this, I try and get a layout of what makes sense. So people show up in, Act 1, they meet Mama, they meet the characters, they know Mama is pregnant. Act 2, Mama confesses that, the baby daddy is really here. Act 3, I won't spoil anything, but then Act 3 happens as well. And so within those confines, then during rehearsal, we say, okay, what characters did we bring to the stage, and how do they fill in these little beats and intertwine and weave their way through. And it's a very organic process, and I'm lucky in that I have such a great crew with me every single time to put stuff like this together. So it really it's collaboration. I do the big brush strokes, and then the actors really do fill in a lot of the heart, the loveliness that makes these shows so special. Our stable of actors at Alchemy is just unmatched. John Sparks, who plays Mama Lou, is just one of the most beloved characters I've ever had the opportunity to be with on stage. All the cast love John as Mama. Every person that comes to see the show loves Mama Lou. There's never any question that she is the life of the party, and she's so sweet and so wonderful. And then just past John, Louis Pardo, who is a world-class singer and actor and improver, has been in almost every single show, and his talent is just unmatched. His energy is beyond unmatched. I don't know anybody that can keep up with Louis Pardo when he's on a roll. And then we've had a lot of other folks from Laura Lee Barlow Boys and Tucker Boys. They're also Alchemy members, and they've been working on these shows for years. And their cleverness and quips and puns are just fantastic as well. And then another buddy of mine, Daniel Conder, who always is, he's so funny in his own right. And then he selflessly will oftentimes play the straight man, and he just knocks it out of the park every single time. He's the relatable character that you love to be with. So we've got so many people that are involved in this show. Kyle Slayton, Brittany Cotter are younger Alchemy folks, and they are hilarious too. I remember Brittany came up with a character name once. Her name was April, May, June, and it's just a perfect little redneck name, but it's just 3 months, and it's just so sweet and so wonderful. So yeah, and they can all sing. That's the biggest thing too. They're amazing actors in their own right, and then you add on top of that this is a long form improv where they have to be on their toes for 2 to 3 hours on the entire time, no breaks, no going off stage. And then on top of that, they sing, and some of them even play their own instruments too. Most of them play their own instruments. So how I've been blessed to have these people around is nothing short of a miracle. So I'm super happy to be doing it again. I would love the audience to walk away from this production knowing that Alchemy takes very, very good care of them as an audience, that we want them all to have a good time, and I want them all to come away with warm fuzzies. All these characters are so delightful and so sweet, and I want them to walk away feeling like they had a fantastic time and saw something that they normally wouldn't get to see, and that we're capable of that as well as a theater company. Some people in Diamond Bar are thinking, oh, we only do Shakespeare. And we're very good at Shakespeare, but that's not all we do. And it goes even beyond just produced shows. This is a long form improv dinner and show that is something that you can't get anywhere else. And to have it right in your own backyard and to have the level of talent going on is just, it's unparalleled. So I hope people walk away being astounded at the level of talent and the joy and encouragement that if we keep supporting and investing in our city and in the arts, we can have a more fulfilling life on our day-to-day basis. Whenever I'm performing in these Du Fromage shows, my favorite thing, the thing that I look forward to the most, is when audience members catch up enough to like the new characters and what's going on that they play along too. Because there's nothing more fun than an audience member kind of throws you a curveball and says, oh, well, you heard so-and-so said this about you. And then you have to get up and be like, what did they say about me? And like, playfully go after them and everything. And then the audience feels like they've created something as well. That's my favorite part, is when the audience gets an opportunity to create in the littlest fashion, because it's a lot to ask folks to do audience participation. So we don't require audience participation. But when they get the bravery and the courage just to throw that little seed in there, and then they get to watch it bloom into something else, that's the coolest part for me. You should come see this production because it is unlike any theater experience that you've probably seen in your life. You're gonna have a great time. The food is gonna be excellent. We're having ribs, and there's free drink and entertainment. The singing is gonna be phenomenal. You're gonna be shocked at how professional all these folks are. There are some folks there that are going to be like, regional theater and above quality singers. So they've been around and they know what they're doing. So the entertainment value alone is why you should come see the show. And especially during this time of year when it's just fun to get out and celebrate. Why you must see the show, especially if you're from Diamond Bar, is to encourage the arts in our cities, especially our cities that don't have a lot of arts going on. We're working on it, and this can be the number one way that you can influence and start some change in your city. So if you want some more art in general, but specifically in Diamond Bar, please come out and support. It's a must-have. This is going to be our biggest fundraiser this year, and we need your help to make it happen. And that's why it's so important that you come and see the show. And if you can't see the show, it's a very busy time of the year, totally understand. Please consider donating and having a recurring donation to Alchemy Theatre Company, because an investment in Alchemy Theatre Company is an investment in Diamond Bar. All the money that you invest in Alchemy Theatre Company goes right back into the city. We're not spending this money anywhere else. It's coming right back to you to provide entertainment. The arts in Diamond Bar as a whole can provide educational family opportunities. If we had a theater in Diamond Bar, then that means there's a place for students to go after school to be engaged and be learning social skills. Theater is also the last place where you can get a lot of your disciplines in that the schools just aren't able to handle anymore, from public speaking to shop to leadership skills, all things like that. We got to build all of these sets every single time. And it's kind of the last place you can learn to really work with your hands. So theater is an all-encompassing art form, everything from public speaking all the way down to working with your hands. So it really is one of the things that separates a city that is just a place to be as opposed to a place that you want to be. My name is Jeff Lowe, and I'm from Alchemy Theatre Company, and we're going to be putting on Mama Miracle this year, December 22nd at 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Come on out. I guarantee you a fantastic time. In the world of theater, I can't oftentimes guarantee that you're going to love a show. Everybody has their own cup of tea, but these shows, I can guarantee you're going to have a fantastic time. If you want to learn more, please go to alchemytheater.com or find us on Facebook and Instagram.